Hey there, how are you doing today? Welcome to another tutorial. Before we get started, again I want to thank you guys for supporting me. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and today's tutorial is going to be really interesting. This is another AI series where we are going to explore how the character or the NPC, when we kill the NPC, he kind of drops his weapons and shield. And also we are going to fix whether the NPC doesn't kill another NPC. Like if there are 4 or 5 NPC, they're focused on us. So we're going to look into AI affiliation and how to disengage the weapons and shield and properly kill the NPC. So let's get started. The description of the steps which I'll be following is going to be under the description. So while reading that, you can also follow the tutorial. Thank you very much. Let's get started. Hello there. So let's get started. So what we are going to do here today is we're going to delve into the realm where, in this case, now let me just play and show you. Like here now, the AI is attacking AI. We don't want that. We want the AI to be attacking us. And, let's, because it's not really nice, and so yeah, let's see how can we fix this. So for that, we need to go to our AI NPC, where we have set up the AI perception, and this is the one. And like here, as you can see on target perception, it's gonna sense anything. So what we are doing is we get the target actor from here and we update it in the value with the target actor name. So here is where we're going to make some changes to just solely focus on us. So if we go to our behavior tree, and this is so far what we have been creating, I'm going to reduce the size of this. So as you can see here, we need to kind of do it using an interface, because what I think is, so if we go to our sense config, and you see, we cannot get this detect enemy and detect neutral in the form of blueprint. So for that, we are going to get it in the form of an interface where we can control this in a way we want. So let's create a blueprint interface. So this, we will name this as BPI underscore faction, and we can add a new function. We can name this as get faction ID. We will get we need to get an output. We will get an output. We will name the output as, the output is going to be an integer, and we will of course name it faction. Now we need to implement this interface in our character. So let's go to our sandbox character, and let's implement the interface. We can implement, and we can just get BPI faction, compile and save, and the interface is gonna pop up here. So now we click on this, and now let's promote this to a variable. We will name this faction ID, and let's just keep it visible, or you can even click in this one as well. So now if we check our sandbox character to the detail, you can see faction ID. Let's name it 1. Make sure that after doing this, you do this one as well, and the both needs to have 1. Now we go to our AI NPC. Now from the target, which is our, of course, the sandbox character, we are gonna get faction ID. Now we need to bind the faction ID of the character to itself with the NPC. For that, we have a function called getControlPawn. Let's bind this to this, and if you want, we can collapse this to macro. This can be named as, we can name this as check affiliation, and if we go there, from here we have to get faction ID. Now what we are going to do, we are going to perform a check here, where if they are not equal, where you're going to bind this to this, where the check is going to be done. So what we are doing here is we are getting the faction ID of the control pawn, where we are doing check where it's not equal to. If it's not equal to, then it's, we're going to name this as enemies. Then they are enemies. And if it's false, then it is allies or friendlies. You could name anything. So now we go here. Now let's test and try. Now the AI character wouldn't attack. See, it's not attacking. It is because, you know what, just to make things look nice, I'll just hide here. Don't think so they can see me from here. So look, they're not attacking each other now. So that means they're friendlies. These two are gonna come and gang me. So now the next thing which we'll be looking is at, I don't know whether you have noticed this or not. So like, for example, I'm attacking the character. And you see, the character is going to still perform some action or some movement. And like you see, there is some movement around. And if I'm close to the character, the hitbox is still active and I can even die as well. So for that, we are going to disable the weapon from his body. And also we're going to disable the fact that the event is over. And yeah, the NPC can die peacefully. So let's get started with that. So the most of the event or the initial stage of the event is going to be handled under our gameplay ability death system. So the thing which we will be copying and pasting from our death is the simulation part, where I think so we have it in here, right? So in our BP sandbox character, if we go to our event graph, so if we go to our update health, we are gonna copy these all features to our AI. So I think so I want to control C, delete it from here, and I want to move it to the death. So we don't have mesh here, which is fine. We can get mesh from here, and of course bind this to this and bind this to this, and this can go away. Also we need to make sure that we promote this to a variable. No, so how do you promote? We can name this just character, so that it checks, so that we can get all the relevant. And also we need to get the capsule, and it's pretty self-explanatory. We get capsule component and we get it like that. Easy as it is. So this one can also come here. Let me try to get some space. So what we are doing here is we are getting our character with the character movement, and from as character we are getting our target mesh and the capsule component, so that our gameplay ability can identify them through our sandbox character. And just to make the code bit more cleaner, we can remove this and we can just bind this to this, so that doesn't look very cluttered, you know. So and now the code is gonna still work, but let's just do another last thing where we're going to disable the character's weapon as well. Before that, we need to kind of disable the player controller system. So let's get from the character, get AI controller, and we're gonna get unpossess. So this is gonna like unpossess our character, like disable it. Now let's see whether the flickering stops in this initial stage or not. So you see, the flickering has stopped. It's just dead at this moment. Just for the purpose of clean coding, we need to make sure that we do a is valid check. Where, you know, so we should also kind of like what we can do is like we can put a lifespan where it will give enough time for the character to unpossess, and also for the purpose of like giving it some time to kind of disable it. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna collapse this all to make it look nice, and we can name this as DESTROY. Can name this as destroy AI controller. And maybe to make things look nicer, we can put a sequence. To get sequence, you press S and the right mouse button. Then the output can be uh yeah, and we can name this then now after this, once the character is fully dead, its AI control has been disabled. It's no more able to perform any function. Now the next thing we're going to look into is how we can disable the character weapons and shield. And now let's go to our BP Katana for that, the one BP Katana. So we are gonna create an interface. Yeah, we do have an interface, which is this BPI weapon. We go to this one and we create a new function. We can name this drop. Now let's compile and save it, and now that's gonna appear here. No, here, I mean in the Katana. So for now we are gonna set simulate physics also to make sure when you check that like the collisions is disabled, so it should be no collision. So now let's set a collision profile. Yeah, let's set collision profile name. I don't know why did it come twice. And let's name this, so now block all. Remember, it is case sensitive. And drag this forward a bit, attach this to this and that to that. So a profile of collision with block all tag or with the letter this one will simulate physics. So now we are going to get set collision enabled. Now in this one, we are going to, the option which we are going to choose here is physics only, because we just want it to like sort of like how the character ragdoll just moves around. Now let's first copy this event because we need to get a reference of this, and do the same thing for what we have done for the shield as well. So we go to our BP shield and we go to our event graph, and we have the drop thing, and yeah, let's just delete that. So let's compile and save. Again, bear in mind the name of this, we have to change it. So let's change it to shield, so that, yeah, because this is shield of course. Now we need to return. So the best way to explain the situation, what we're going to do is we're going to make sure this logic is kind of declared in our BP sandbox character, because it is not yet totally there in it. So we have a function here which we made. This is the function which we made. So I think it would be better if we return both the weapon. So again, the same thing, we need to go to our class setting and open our weapon wielder, and instead of this we'll name it with the S weapons, and I'll put this weapon R for our right hand, which is, so yeah, now also we could have gotten compile error. So let's compile and save it, and let's see whether everything is okay or not everywhere. So we go to our PP sandbox, go to our anim class. Yes, there, as I expected, there will be a compile error, so that needs to be fixed. And yes, because we have to get, yeah. And now as we have weapon right, let's have weapon left as well. So now we go to this one and we add another output. We will name this weapon L, and it's gonna be an actor. Make sure it's object reference. So now we go to our sandbox character and we should have, yes, we do have weapon L. We bind this to this. This one we made at the initial stage while we were creating the weapon to have equipping the weapon shield, sorry. And now let's go back to our GA depth where we are gonna get the character. So now we are gonna get weapon, target DPI weapon wielder, yeah, get weapon, and let's get drop. And as we know, what does the drop holds? The drop holds all the disabling features for our character and now in this case for our weapon as well. And we also again do a drop. Now let's check the hit reaction part. We also need to make sure that under hit reaction we chose the right one. And let's compile and save. So yeah, it is working. So as you can see, the attack is working nice, smoothly and flawlessly, and the character is also disabled. And yeah, that's all for today. Hope you liked the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Oh, now I died. So yeah, the reason why the sword and the shields are looking weird because of the collision. I'll show you. Like you see, if I go to this one, you see it looks very not appropriate. That's why it's kind of rolling. We can kind of replace this one. Let me just show you. Like we can delete this and we can add like a box, and the box can I'm gonna go big. Kind of go like this, and now the shield is gonna have better collision. Now let's give it a try. I'll bring him a bit towards here. Now you see, like, yeah. Again, the reason why it's behaving like this, you need to set the box properly. Otherwise, everything is good. So that's all for today. Hope you liked the video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. It really means a lot. Every day if I see at least one person subscribing, it really motivates me to work. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.